What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Tinklebear, Colbert Tech Repair, where you get everything tech, news, gaming, and nerd related. And today we have yet another channel exclusive. It is the RAIDMAX Scorpio V chassis. Alright guys, so I'm going to go over some specifications with you here to start off with. This is a mid-tower case. This is the white model. It also comes in a black model. It has 3 5¼ inch external drive bays, 8 3.5 inch hard drives, or 8.5 inch SSDs. It also has one hot swap 2.5 inch drive on the top. You can fit ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX, and eATX motherboards into this. It has 8 expansion slots, 2 USB 2.0 ports on the top, 2 HD audios, and 2 USB 3.0. Now the dimensions are as follows: 500mm long by 212mm wide by 500mm high. Now you can see here there is the big side window that you can see everything inside the case. It looks very, very nice. It's a very, very beautiful case. Here on the back we have the 2 grommets for water cooling if you want. The I/O port, you have Celtic looking back fan. It's a 120mm black RAIDMAX fan that's included, along with all of your white expansion ports, 2 more rubber grommets for water cooling if needed, and a bottom mounted power supply. There's also a removable fan filter down there. Now here on the back of the case, there's not much dimension. There was just the it's a little bit wider, and there is the hot swap drive. You can plug in an SSD there and move over all your media. Now here on top we have 2 fan controllers. You can see on the 0 that is off, it has a low and a high setting. You can plug in 2 fans to each of the controllers for a total of 4 fans, and you also have the power and reset switches. The power and reset switches are very easy to access. The reset switch is a little small, which I guess is okay if you don't want to accidentally hit it. The power switch is big, and you have the LED. Now if you want to have any optical drives, you can fold out this panel here, and you can see there's 3 slots for optical drives if you deem necessary to use them. Now here on the top of the case, you can pop off this little panel here, and there is some foam in here to stop any dust. It is cleanable, and you have 2 mounting ports for 2 120mm fans or a 240mm radiator. Now onto the inside of the case, you can see the black RAIDMAX fan in the rear, which is sleeved, and it's 120mm. A big expansion, or a big motherboard cutout. You can see that there are the RAIDMAX easy unlock optical drive mounts if you so desire to use them, and the RAIDMAX hard drive releases, which are kind of hard to do because you have to squeeze them and pull them out, but they are manageable, and they have 4 holes for SSDs already drilled. And there on the bottom you can see there is a spot for a 120mm fan. Here is the fully black USB 3.0 cable, along with fully black sleeved front panel I/O connectors and power switch and reset switch, and your SATA for the front hot swap port, and the HD audio, which is not all the way sleeved. I wish it was, but a lot of manufacturers don't do that. You can see the white expansion ports back here, which look really nice, and they are metal, not plastic. And here you can see the removable fan filter. It is not magnetic, it is slide, so you have to slide it back in. There is a spot for the 120mm fan if you so desire to use one, and this case does come with rubber grommets to make cable management a breeze if you decide to use them. It helps out a lot. And if you can see it in there, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a front fan in this case. It is a blue 120mm fan, and the brightness changes depending on if it's on high or low. Now on to the rear of the case, you can see the big motherboard cut out here with the rubber grommets. It is zip tied, everything right there, and you can see there is a lot of connectors back here. Here are 2 of the fan controller headers you can plug 2 fans into, along with one that is already hooked up to the front fan, and one of the other empty ones. There is the front USB header, which I did not have in front of the case, and there are the 3 molex connectors. I will explain those later. You can see there's plenty of room back here for cable management. I can fit my finger in just fine, so there is plenty of room to run cables back there. I chose not to go highly cable managed on this because I just threw my test bench in here, so it's not going to be perfect. And here I have everything up and running. You can see the front blue LED fan is running, and something I didn't know, but now I do, there is a blue LED on the front, which looks very, very nice. Everything up here on top, you can see I have the fan set to high. I will play around with the switches here in a moment to show you what that looks like. And here's everything inside the case. I have the Noctua NH12S in there, and I have my MSI R9290 mounted on the second port because it would not fit in the first with the USB 3.0. You can see there's off, low, and high. Once again, low, off, high. So all your brightnesses change with the switches on the fan controllers. And you can see the Noctua cooler does clear just barely. It has about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of clearance. On the back you can see everything is very nice and clean. It all fits together very nicely. Now here is the molex connector that I was talking about. Now this is not explained by RAIDMAX in the newest releases, but all you have to do is plug in your power supply to molex connectors to the fan controllers, and then plug in your fan controllers to the fans. Now they are not marked, so you'll have to play around to see which one is fan controller A and fan controller B, but it's not that hard to figure out. So I wish they would put A and B on there. It would make it a lot easier, but they haven't. You can see there's a cutout for the CPU power if you desire to use it, and a big motherboard cutout. And onto the inside. So you can see everything is nice and tidy in here. There is still room for the 120mm fan if I decide to use it. The MSI R9290 fits in there with about 2 inches of clearance from the drive bays, so you might have some problems with some bigger graphics card. The Noctua fan fits just fine, and overall this is a very, very good case. Everything looks nice and tidy. It was very easy to work in, and it is highly recommended. Alright guys, so that was my review and overview of the RAIDMAX Scorpio V chassis. It's a very nice chassis. There was a few complaints I had. Not marking the fan controllers with A and B doesn't really hurt, but it would really help newer users if they did not know how to use them. But overall, it was a very easy case to work in. I can highly recommend it. It is a Scorpio V by RAIDMAX. I would like to extend my thanks to RAIDMAX for providing me this case and providing me many cases for channel exclusives right here on Colbert Tech Repair. Alright guys, if you have any questions about this case, please feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section right down below. Feel free to give it a like, give it a dislike. Also, if you haven't yet, please check out my Patreon campaign. It will really help support the channel. There are many options, and you get entries into all of my giveaways. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at TanKolbert92, and you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/KolbertTechRepair. See you guys next time.